Hey guys, Colby here. Welcome back to another Watcher of Realms video. I have some big news for you guys today. Big announcement, and this is gonna help out lots of you who have some issues with the game in terms of keeping track of your pity. We have a website, guys, for Watcher of Realms. This is the big announcement. Me and a good friend of mine, we created a website for Watcher of Realms with some tools. I'll showcase every single thing in this video that is gonna help you out. And before you say cold brew, we're gonna have a pity system within Watcher of Realms very soon in an update. I don't know if you've seen the pity system that they plan on introducing, but let me just show you on how that looks and on how easy that will be comparing it to what we have. This is how it looks on the Forerunner server. You click on details, click on the pity summoning record. This is the summoning record that you'll be seeing, the last 300 summons only on your account, and it doesn't really specify on what number of shards you pulled. And the legendary, you just see the icon there. It doesn't give you much more information than just the icons. So it can get a little bit confusing, although visually, I mean, you can see it, you'll still be counting like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's gonna be confusing. It's gonna suck, all right? So we have something way better with much more. So stay tuned for the video. Let me just show you the website. Boom, there we go. Welcome to War Codex, Watcher of Realms Codex. We're also gonna have the Immortal Codex, by the way, soon enough coming into the game. So I think the name is very fitting to what we have. This is a work in progress. This is version 1. We still have a lot of things working in the behind the scenes. Okay, we'll be improving the site, adding more things, more tools, and even more functions on the heroes page, the artifacts, and the tier list. But let me just show you everything. Right now you can see this is the main page where you just go in the home page. It just shows the crazy invocation of spirits, crazy divine summoning event with 2 days 12 hours remaining. By the way, this also works on your phone, so if you're a phone user, you can also access the page and keep track of your pity and so on. I'll show you what that is in just a second. We have some articles made already for some heroes that I've tested, and I've made some articles, but then we have some other news announcements as well that were in game when the time was for some of the events. Let's go into the actual showcase of the website. I'll show every single piece, but let's get started with the really exciting part, and then I'll come back to how the heroes pages look, the artifacts, and the tier list. But let's go to the tool section, which I think is going to be of interest to most of you out there. So let's start with the pity tracker. So what is the pity tracker? It's very obvious what that means. We're gonna track our pity, we're gonna track our mercy system within the game. As you can see here, it shows the current legendary chance of 0.5. Well, that's not the case. We have the 2x going on, so we click here, boom, that goes to 1%. So it says 3,438 summons I pulled, and my last was Shamir. If you saw my video earlier that I posted today, that was my pull. My other pull was at 3,221 with Abomination, Morrigan at 3,196. So these were the last ones I kept track of, and you can keep on adding them yourself if you have them somewhere on a paper, or if not, you can just start from now. And what you do is you just add the latest one right here. You add the number, and then you add the hero, depending on what you summon. Okay, and then what is your current count in terms of summons? So you'll go into the game, you'll go right here, click on summons, click on the rewards. You see, oh, I'm at 3468 right now. So if we go to the website, 3468, that means in 190 pulls I'll have a guaranteed legendary, just because it works like that. 170 is when the pity starts. So let's say I was not there. Wait, I was like at 48. Let's go a little bit down. So I was one away from pity. As I'm pulling, okay, as I'm pulling shards, this goes up and up, and you'll be able to see your pity in a better way, But obviously, this is better for tracking your pity systems. At the moment, this does not transfer over on devices, but in the future, we might introduce something like that. So if, let's say, you are on your PC and you're keeping track, it won't transfer over to your phone, guys. It's based on the browser that you're using at any point. So what that means is if you keep it on your browser and you want to have it also on your phone, you got to do it for now on both and keep track of it. Just add your latest one as an example. The same thing works for the legendary ones as well. By the way, if you pulled one at, let's say, 10 and you pulled Absent for whatever reason, you can just add that to have it in mind as a way to remember, okay, what was my last legendary and how many did it take? It took 10 to get Abstan. Okay, so I'm currently at 10. How many do I have? I have 5. You'll pull the 5. Let's say on the 5th one, you get something. You'll do 15 and then click on here. Oh, I got so lucky. I got Araka on 15 and that's it. And you can also keep track of pity. And when there's a 2x, you click on right here and it just shows you the different chances where at 2x, it's 56 summons for guaranteed. Okay. It's insane. It's the same thing on how it worked on Raid Shadow Legends. So if you know that game, you'll know this one has very, very similar both odds and pity system. Okay, so that's it in terms of the legendary pity tracker, the divine pity tracker, and the rare pity tracker. We will be adding possibly the ancient one as well if then demand for that is there. So that is the first tool of the website. Let's go have a look at the second tool of the website. It's going to be the value calculator. I know many of you out there also want to know, okay, how good are the packs within the game? I know many of you are just going to say, well, the packs in the game just kind of suck. Overall, I would agree with you, but some of them have better value than others. And this is a work in progress value calculator that I need you to be testing and giving me your feedback, by the way, on what you think is fair or not, so that I can improve it in the future. Maybe I can give you access to my initial work, which was basically an Excel worksheet, right? It was this, it was like the gold, and then we use this as what we use on the website. Okay, we just basically transferred it over, made it look prettier, and we have it on the website. And what you do here is, let's say a pack is offered for $10, right? You type in the in-game price of $10 right there. I know some of you may be paying with W gold or whatever it's called, the in-game currency, the other currency we use for packs. You might be using that, but if you're on just your phone, then you'll see probably USD or Euro pricing. We might change that in the future, but for now we just have USD. All right, so in-game price, 10 US dollars. Let's see, okay, how much do you value, let's say, an epic hero soulstone? Although these have not been ever shown in the game in terms of a pack, I don't think, not even the legendary hero soulstone. I gave them a price of my own. Let's say one epic hero soulstone is $10 for me, which I think is kind of fair. And the legendary hero soulstone, like $50. I think that's also pretty fair. I think many people will jump on that, especially the whales. But more realistically, we want to see, okay, how much are 10 rare summoning crystals worth, really? The most basic value for that would be, if you look at the game right now, if you just jump into the game, you'll see that in-game pricing for this at the cheapest is, if you click on the shop, you'll see it offered every single day as 99 of this currency, the W gold, for one summon. It's a limit of 1 per day, but it's the lowest that you can really buy it pretty much every day. Sometimes this pack also pops up with 5 of them plus 100 gems, which is basically 6 summons for 499, which roughly translates to $5. Sometimes it might be less depending on how you purchase the W gold, or if you're on your phone, it's gonna be pretty much $5 or sometimes more, depending on whether you pay tax or not on online purchases. Okay, so different packs, what you do is very basic. You go to the site, you just slowly add what the pack offer gives you. Let's say 5 summoning crystals and then 100 gems, and then I believe it was like 5,000 gold, so I put 5 there because this is in thousands. As you can see right there, 5,000 gold, 100 diamonds, 5 rare summoning crystals, and I think the price was like $5. So how do I value this? Well, because this has a value of $6.21 and it's priced at 5 USD, it's not that great for me. What makes that pack actually better than most is because it is a it's an offer that goes on. The more you purchase, it opens up to 2, 3, 4, which the 4th one eventually becomes a good value. So overall, the pack wouldn't be considered bad. I think I put it like some time ago on the calculator myself, and it gave it an okay value, which is relatively okay because it's one of the better offers, not the best offers. One of the best offers, if you put it on the calculator, it's going to be this one, monthly card of summoning at $15 for 40 summons. Very, very easy. Honestly, you don't even need the calculator, but just to show you, 40 summons right there for $15. it would show that this has a very good offer value. So this is for something for you guys to play around with in case of an offer, if you're on the edge or whether to buy or something. And of course, this will be subject to change in the future if we see something, if we see some responses from you guys that, okay, this is actually a good pack and on the offer calculator it's shown as bad. Please change it. Please consider this as more valuable than what you say. So we might change things up. So again, we need your feedback, guys, down in the comments. That would be very, very helpful. So that's it in terms of the first tools that we have for the site: a good pity tracker plus a value calculator. Then let's go to the articles page. We just have a couple of articles at the moment right here, but we will be adding more and more as time goes on, as well as a filtering system to help you browse through and just find maybe some articles that interest you much quicker. Then next up is the heroes page. This is just a really cool looking hero page, plus a lot of stats for every single hero. Let me just show you everything. We have the gallery look right here, which is every single hero currently on the global server, not the Forerunner server. So even Falkia and Ardea, which was just added today, I was adding this last night. If you click on her, boom, look at that. This is the page for Ardea, Blade of the Inferno. This is exactly how you would see her in the game, and every detail that you have in the game. We have her talent here, her skills, which you can click right here and see every level up, physical attack. That's the basic attack basically. Then her passives, and then the final passive for the arena cost. You see her basic attributes here, plus her promoted attributes, her maximum level attributes right there, plus her attack range, which is this one. And then we have some rankings right here, which I still have not added for this specific champion hero, because that is also a work in progress. I'll explain the tier list in just a second, but let's have a look at other heroes. If we go back here, we'll click on Araka as an example. Again, the same thing. This one has her own content rankings because I went through and added those as well with my own, you know, kind of testing. Some of them maybe could have been like a 10, so a 10 out of 10 instead of a 9 out of 10. Again, that is some work in progress, but I'll explain you guys my thinking behind the tier list in just a second and how I've built that for the site. We also have some hero tags for that, which you can filter through. You can see every single skill again, maximum level, and all that good stuff. But we also have the table look here. If you want to see things and compare, let's say, okay, who has the highest attack? You just click here twice. Boom, it's Ardea now, currently in the game with almost 8,000 attack. Next one up is Salazar, and then Elder, who's also very recently added. Or who has the highest defense? It's 4,000, with Regulus being number 1. And then other things like who has the highest HP is Abomination, or the lowest HP is Josh. Right here, we even have the common heroes. We have every single hero in the game, in the global one, with their skills, even if they are just 2 skills, okay? And for this guy, I gave him a 1 in everything. He's just, you're never gonna use this guy, right? I want to see somebody tell me differently, okay, that, oh, this guy can be used instead. So I want to see your guys' reaction to some of the common ones. The uncommons that are worth it, I've given them better ratings for specific areas, but obviously the commons, I haven't found a use for any common yet, unfortunately. Maybe I'm just skipping something that is very obvious, but let's continue on. So yeah, this is the table list that you can see, but here we have the filter icon. So what does the filter icon do? Oh, it's pretty obvious. It filters through, depending on if you want to find like a specific faction, you can filter so you can see only those 2 factions as an example. Or you want to see the classes, you just want to see defenders, you just click there for defenders. And then we have rarity, same thing. You can do multiple filters if you want to. If you just want to see the lords, you can do that as well. Multiple factions, this is a specific filtering because that's some heroes have multiple factions on them. So they'll have two tags on them as a faction. It can be used in 2 different faction trials. Just remember that. And then we also have the tags, which the tags can be searched here. And these are the in-game tags. As an example, let's find anti-air heroes and how they're tagged within the game. So we have Silas, Harpoon, and Hex, who have specific skill sets for anti-air, or let's say anti-air bonus. That's Brienne, okay? But it's very similar, so you can do anti-air just click on everything. Not anti-death, but anti-air damage, anti-air priority. That's how they are in the game. So we transferred it over to the side as well. It's a very easy way, quick way to find something that you really want to, you know, search for. Let's say you want to find bleed. Another good example. Boom, bleed. These are the heroes that can apply bleed within the game. Although I do think Ardea also can apply bleed with her skills. Now that I'm remembering it, within the game, she's not characterized as a bleed. She does not have the bleed tag. But I might be misremembering something. So overall, this is just a fantastic way to filter through heroes. If you're looking for something very specific, you can reset the filters there. And let's say you want to find some heroes with the debuff tag. Or let's say you want to find somebody. Let's find something that has invincibility right there. Boom. It's Regulus, who has a skill which denies him from dying. It's a very specific tag because other heroes have, I believe it's called deny death. So it's kind of a different tag, but it feels like it does the same thing. So I think it's anti-death. I think it's how it's called within the game. Yeah, anti-death, Cornelia in here. And we also have, what else? I think there's one more that is really, really obvious for those kind of heroes. Like, I think Baron. Baron has that. What was his tag? I completely forgot. Critical. Yeah, here it is. Here it is, critical status buff. For whatever reason, that means that it's his basically passive giving him unyielding. That's the critical status buff that Baron has. So very interesting on how the game characterizes them, but here it is for you guys to see. In the future, we do plan to add more things in order for maybe an easier way to search through and find specific skills for heroes. But for now, this is how it is. It looks very, very cool. And then we finally also have the artifacts page. Okay, the artifacts page right here. Pretty obvious on what this is. It's all the artifacts currently within the game for each hero. You can filter through again and find the rarity of artifacts. Let's say you're trying to find mythic, legendary, epics. We will add more filters in the future. We have every single artifact. You can click on it. We don't have the levels added yet. We don't feel like we need it just yet within this, because I don't feel like players are interested so much about the artifacts themselves in terms of the levels. Maybe like a tier list for artifacts would be something that people would be searching for, or which artifact to look for. So that's it in terms of the artifacts. Every single one has been added, even the newest ones, which were from the event we just had. Those were very recently added. I believe it was Celine's Shadow Strike. I think it was this one. For every 10 instances of magic damage inflicted, Celine Shadow Strike summoned upon 3 enemies. Yeah, this was one of the latest ones added to the game, and it was through the shop available, right? And then finally, the tier list. Okay, what is the tier list? Well, obvious. What is a tier list? It gives you an easier look on the quality of the hero depending on where you will be using them. So it's out of 10. It's 1 to 10. There's no 0, although we do have 0 at the moment because these have not been ranked yet. I need to test them through, find maybe some more information about these heroes. But since I haven't tested them myself, I can't really give them a ranking just yet. But this will be very, very soon added to the game and you'll see it updated. So what does this mean? What does the tier list mean? It's not that easy to explain it. Let me just show and explain at the same time. So who's the best one? Overall best ranking, Eloin. How did I find Eloin the best champion in the game, best hero in the game? Well, it's very easy in my eyes. She has one of the best early game potential since she provides a lot of support. Gear rate 1 definitely can be used as a healer, provides rage regen, so definitely gets a 10, can be used in gear rate 21, gear rate 21 on gear rate 2 as well, can be used as a healer definitely for her rage up, and can also survive if you build her correctly and provide a huge benefit to all your allies in there. Also for gear rate 3, she gets an 8. I am still considering this one. I could give her maybe like a higher rank because again her utility will be there just as a healer plus rage provider, so I could definitely see her as a 10 in there as well. Guild boss, again, 10. You see her in every single guild boss team. And then we go the arenas, which have different rankings. Sustained DPS arena, honestly, this is where you take a lot of damage, so having a healer that also provides some utility is very, very crucial. And the remaining are just different other areas that you can use her, like the XP or gold raid. You wouldn't really use a healer. I don't think anybody really uses a healer. Maybe at the start when you are tanking out the waves of the goblins, you want to use it, but honestly, not that oftenly used. Artifact material raid, again, I could give her a lower rank because in the really end game teams you don't see Elowen, but she can definitely be used there to carry you through and use her as your support instead of, let's say, Vortex. Instead of having to build 2 heroes, if you have Elowen, you can definitely use her. Okay, and Tide and Void Rift, obviously she gets a 10 for in there, and this goes on for every single hero. When do heroes get a 1 cold brew? Well, again, kind of obvious when a hero will get a 1. I'll give you guys an example. So let's say if we have somebody like let's find Abomination as a good example. Let's see his ratings. He's got a 10 overall because he's very strong, very high base of both attack and health, so very high in early game. Gear rate 1 can be used. I've used him in actual teams for gear rate 119, so you cannot say he gets lower than an 8. A 9 would be gear rate 20, gear rate 120. A 10 would be gear rate 121 in my eyes. Okay, gear rate 2, I gave him a 7. You can definitely use him in gear rate 219, but 20 and 21 you can use him, but he's not going to be the carry that you're looking for. Gear rate 3, he gets a 1. It does affect his overall rating, but it's the reality. He won't help you at all with gear rate 3. He cannot hit anything. Maybe an argument can be made about him being a tank and taking a few hits, but that's not the case. Guild boss can definitely be used in there, but gets replaced pretty quickly, I would say, as you move into the end game. So honestly, for a good Nightmare 3, Nightmare 4 team, you will not see Abomination in there, most likely. Okay. For the arenas, it really depends on what you want to be using them for, but he gets a 9 in the sustained arena, 7 in AoE because he does do a good AoE. Sustained DPS, he is really good in there because he has a self-sustain as well. Air arena, the anti-air, honestly, how would I give him more than 1? He cannot hit anything. Faction trials, he's a 6. I would give him probably a little bit higher than 6 now that I'm thinking of it, but I'll show you guys how I give these ratings and how these are affected. But this tier list is not equally weighted, and I'll explain what that means. So the remaining are just the XP gold rate. I could give him like a 7 here. Void Rift, depends on the Void Rift. I could give him maybe an 8. Depends on the Void Rift. Sometimes you'll need him, especially on the Torodor fight. You might need him. I did use him, if I'm being honest, so maybe I should give him like an 8 here. So very solid, but still falls off because of just no usage in gear rate 3 and no usage air arena, and just lower overall rating in other areas. So he has a 6.9. It's not that he's not good, but the other ratings are what drop the overall, so you'll have to have that in mind. But it's a good way to just rate them through, just looking for, okay, let's find a good gear rate 1 hero, a good gear rate 2 hero, and just sort them through like that. So that's how the tier list is with every single hero in the game, and every single hero has their skills as well. You can click on them and go to their page if you are interested, and you can also see the ratings at the bottom. So how was this tier list made? So this tier list, guys, was made through this big spreadsheet, which again was transferred over to the website, and this is used as my base, which I keep updated, not every day. I mean, I've got other things to do, guys, but I try to keep updated. And if you are somebody who is willing to help, by the way, to fix some of the ratings, maybe you have some input, I would gladly give you a copy of this or access, as long as you can provide some feedback as well as to why, okay, this should be 10, this should be 9, and your thoughts. So how was this made? Let me just explain that this is every single hero that you saw, with Ardia and Elder at the end right there, with basically 0 rating, because again, as I said, I haven't I haven't added them yet. They're just the final, the last two in this one. So you'll see many different numbers. Before I go completely deep into the maths, I'll just explain what a weighted rating is. So a weighted rating is where one area of the game has more impact than the other. So for example, the early game for me is more valuable than any of the arenas for any account out there. The arenas, although are cool and they give you some rewards, you can get by and not worry so much about them after a point. And especially after you can reach Overlord, arenas become, for the most part, something that you just do every single day without much care. Gear Raid 1, Gear Raid 2, and Gear Raid 3, in my opinion, and Guild Boss, in my opinion, are the most important parts of the game. So these are the highest weighted in the game. So when you see a 10 there on Gear Raid 1, it has a weight of 1.5, meaning a 10 is actually a 15 in value, in like overall value. If you think of it as a total number, that's not a 10, that's a 15. And for let's say the arena right here, if I would give a 10 in sustained arena, it's not a 10, it's a 9 actually, because this gets 0.9 instead of a 1 or a 1.2. Some of these get a 1.25, which is the early game, which I consider, as I said, more impactful, and the Guild Boss more impactful. So all of these affect the overall rating differently. So a 10 on Guild Boss gives you more. When you get a 10 on Guild Boss, gives you more value than you would get a 10 in arena. So if you see somebody having a 10 in arena, it's not going to affect his overall rating as much as having a 10 in Guild Boss or Gear Raid 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so a hero who does well in all of these 4 areas will be overall ranked way higher than anybody else. And a good example of that is Arrogance, Silas, Hatsuit, who's very, very good but falls off on Guild Boss. If she had a good Guild Boss score, she would be the best hero in the game, because honestly, in arenas, you don't see anything other than Hatsuit. And maybe faction trials, I gotta bump this up. Maybe even artifact material. Honestly, she is such an insane hero for what she provides. On the next version of the tier list, I have also this column right here, which is called Skill Up. What does that mean? The value of skilling up the hero, giving them more of your crystals, your epic crystals or your legendary crystals. This is not on the website just yet. This is part of the tier list, which is in progress right now. I am updating it, trying to consider, okay, is this really valuable? Like, having this on the tier list. I'm still thinking through it. I just wanted to share it on the video now. Maybe you guys can agree or disagree. I know this video has been going on for a long time, but I just wanted to explain everything that this site has for now. I'm really excited about this. I want to see your feedback, what you want to see on the site as well. We'll keep that in mind. I want to see the comment section down below. If you have the time, please also share it with your friends and your guild. That will be very, very much appreciated by me. Thank you all, guys. I think this was the video. I covered everything that the site has for now. It's not much, but what we have is very, very good and very solid. I am so proud of the work that we put in, and we'll keep on updating it as much as we can. And with Watcher of Realms being, you know, really promising for 2024, hopefully this will grow on and on. Okay, so this was the video, guys. Thank you all. Check out the site yourselves. I'll put down links below in the description and comments of the video. Leave me your feedback as you go through the site. If you find any bugs, please contact me on Discord, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you all. See you soon.